the Bills, as far as I was concerned, they had a very good draft. And matter of fact, we talked about this on Wednesday, that and this is one of the things we did not put in the ticker. So you have the ticker there. We explained it on Wednesday. So what the ticker is, it basically has your steals, your sleepers. What else does it have? The undrafted free agent list.
Yeah, sleeper and guys that have the best shot at making the roster,
the best fit.
Yeah, the best fit. Yeah,
best fit.
And then biggest reaches, just value wise.
And reaches, yes. Not that means that they're not good players.
Right.
So the thing that's not on the list is top 5 best drafts, top 3 least favorite drafts. And we both agreed with the 2 NFC teams. Your top 2 NFC teams, basically your elite drafts, went to Seattle and Philly. That happened to be mine. I have 2 more elite level teams because I didn't do the same as you. I basically just had a different way of doing it. But
right.
I had 2 elite AFC teams too. And but underneath that, I had 5 very good drafts that were not elite, but I felt, you know what, almost Carolina in the NFC, Detroit and the Giants in the NFC. Okay. But there were 2 teams that were just below elite in my mind, and 2 out of the 3 are on your list. And this is one of them, the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
So you take a look at the Bills, and I think to get one of our favorite players, Dalton Kincaid, late in the first round, with one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. You can say what you want. Oh, sort of like Detroit, but in a different way. Maybe the fans in a different way where, we already have our tight end. I mean, Dawson Knox, look, he's doing a good job. I mean, we don't have to. And you know what? If you go to Dawson Knox into next season, that's fine. That's okay. But when you get the opportunity as one of the elite teams in the NFL to take a chance and go, you know what? No. We're not going to settle on okay. We're going after elite possibilities. That's what they did with Dalton Kincaid. Great pickup there. To get Osiris Torrence as a 59th pick of the draft. Are you kidding me? Then they get another one of my favorite sleepers, linebacker Dorian Williams, in the 3rd round. And just those 3 picks alone was why I felt they had an outstanding draft.
Yeah, I mean, Bills have made a habit out of doing a really good job draft weekend. And again, how do you build a sustainable winner? Yes, you need the quarterback. Yes, you could even say you need the head coach. But you got to just keep hitting singles and doubles in the draft. And that's what this draft, to me, looks like. Home run, meaning a guy's going to turn into an all-pro. I don't see it. But I see these guys as being a big part of a winning football team for a long time, especially those 3 picks. Kincaid, they trade up to. They trade up to get in front of Dallas. They had some pretty solid intel that Dallas was going to go after Dalton Kincaid. And based on the look of the Cowboys' war room draft weekend, I think they got caught sleeping at the wheel here. But, we have to make sure that we're not viewing Kincaid as a tight end in this offense. Yeah. Yes, that's a position group that he'll be listed under on the R-Lads depth chart. But they just locked in Dawson Knox. He's not going anywhere. And if you remember Bean, when he was Brandon Bean, when he was with Carolina back when this team drafted Cam Newton about over 10 years ago, they had Jeremy Shockey, who was still a good tight end at the time, and they also traded for Greg Olsen. And that's something that the Bills have been trying to do over and over for the past few years. Okay. They're trying to get that second tight end so that they can play with a really versatile, hard to defend 12 personnel.
And now they got it.
And here you go. This is the guy, and schematically, he'll be more slot than he is tight end. So don't worry about him putting his hand in the dirt and trying to, block, Matt Judon. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
He's going to be closer
and if it does, it's going to be one of those things we're going to look at and laugh and go, why did they do that?
Right. Yeah. He's going to be closer to Cole Beasley than he is Dawson Knox when it comes to just that down-to-down responsibility. So,
and how important, because we talked about that was a primary potential need we thought was the slot.
Yeah.
And that's basically what Kincaid fills.
That's what he'll be. Yeah. If there's one guy that's going to lose snaps in this offense, it's Khalil Shakir, the actual slot receiver. So really smart pick there. And I think it's going to be a big deal. I love the player. I mean, Greg, we've been talking about him as being the number 1 tight end in this class for months, right? I think we started talking about that in December.
Yes.
maybe even earlier than that. So it's kind of came to fruition. Torrence, the second rounder, there were a couple character red flags that bumped him down.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened there.
So there's some coachability and work ethic issues there that I think some teams cross him off the board. He had a really bad pre-draft workout. If there's one position I don't care about workouts, it's offensive line, but you do make notes of it. And you got to wonder if he didn't really grind that hard during the pre-draft process and turn some guys off because didn't have a weight issue. This is a kid that weighed 420 pounds in high school. He's down 90 pounds.
Okay.
So he took care of his body throughout college. And, we talked about him a lot, going to SEC, no sacks allowed, no penalties, all this good stuff. But at the end of the day, he's a bad athlete as a tester. And again, some teams are probably saying, hey, we're not going to even consider him. He's off our board. And then you also add on some character issues, coachability, work ethic. Other teams are going to cross him off the board. So now the Bills just get a guy sitting there round 2 that's a first-round caliber lineman that they don't have to rush into action either. So really good pick for them. That goes a little against the grain of what they've done with the interior in recent years, but value is value at that point. They usually go for an athletic tackle, and they convert him to guard. That's been their move for the interior for years. So this guy is just a straight guard that's probably going to be on the unathletic side. But I like the upside. I like what they're going to do with him over the course of the next year or two.
Okay, before we move on, let's talk about the 2 free agents they picked up.
Yeah.
Because Broker and Garage, I don't know how you pronounce that name.
Yep.
Both of them, our lads felt could have been 5th-round draft picks.
Yeah.
And they were able to get Broker in the 7th and Garage as a free agent.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely 2 guys. That's the profile this team has gone after when you're trying to build the interior. College tackles that we're going to move inside. And Broker, he can snap. I think he's going to be a guard center backup. And we talked about this team needing a center.
Yes.
Don't sleep on Broker being the guy next year.
Oh, it happens all the time with centers. You draft them in the 7th round, they become your 10-year starter.
Yep. And he has snapping experience. He doesn't have game experience, but the undrafted name that gets my attention is DJ Dale, because the D tackle, they needed to address that position in this draft. They did sign Puna Ford after, so that was a solid signing. But again, long term, I don't think they have anyone under contract at that position next year. So the cupboard's going to be pretty bare. And I like DJ Dale's odds of being in the picture next year.
Yep, we talked about adding depth there, and they did that. We also wondered if they were going to add, not that they needed it, but this is a team that constantly just doubles down, triples down, quadruples down on edge rushers.
Yeah.
And you could, some people might say they did need it, but they've had so much invested in it that they really do need these guys to step up.
Yeah.
And so that's basically what they're hoping now, especially if Von Miller were to go down again. So they're going into the season with what they got, which is fine. We also thought about some potential DBs if they wanted to add. Hyde and Poyer getting a little bit older. Hamlin coming off the serious injury, health issue. But, because Lamb is now going to be asked to make a big step up, no question. But it looks like they're going to live with what they have there. I wouldn't be surprised if they added another DB veteran, another corner veteran along the line.
They've been pretty active post draft. They signed Puna Ford, like I said, and Latavius Murray post draft. It sounds like they're not done yet.
And then the offensive line. We talked about that. And Dale, how surprised were you that Dale did not get drafted?
Not overly surprised.
Based on his position.
Basic position, doesn't really offer much as a pass rusher. Physically, you're not seeing a lot of traits. You're just seeing a quality football player from a quality program that is probably topped out in terms of potential. So you know what you're getting. I think he's a great undrafted free agent because he could be someone that can come in and play that role right away. But in terms of where he goes from here, I don't believe you're going to see much better than what you're getting right now.
And how will Shorter and my boy Dorian Williams fit in?
Shorter's going to be a core special teamer right away. He'll make that team because of special teams, and then he also gives them a size element that they don't currently have beyond Gabe Davis. There are tools there. I mean, I think he's 6'3 plus, ran a sub 4.4, but he plays all 4 special teams as a gunner and personal protector. So you'll see him on the field. He'll be an active game day guy.
Is that Dorian the Penn State transfer?
Yes, the Penn State transfer, 5-star recruit. And Dorian, I think this kid, he's going to be the eventual Mike. Not this year, they're not going to move Milano. That kid is a weak side linebacker that can be, you can make a case he's an all-pro at that spot. You don't want to move him. You want to keep him there. But Dorian Williams, moving him, who's already in raw linebacker, to put him at the Mike linebacker spot, green dot, a lot of responsibilities, have to play with instincts. I don't see him leapfrogging someone like Bernard, Dotson, Spector, even Klein. He's much more talented than those guys, but I believe it's going to be a slower ride, maybe he's in the picture for 2024, similar to the Ravens with Trenton Simpson. Like, let these guys sit for a year. We'll find certain packages that we could use him in, but don't expect much out of him as a rookie.